people, the Greeks call them, Egyptian, but they call themselves Kemet. We move into another aspect of the African experience, dealing with the homage to the mask. And what I've done here is showing the African mask, all right, with the animal form, because they were heavily involved in the African mask and showing combination of human and animals combined. And what I've done is kind of put a pharaoh's hat on the side of that. I put the cobra on the top. But this particular figure here I would call the builders. And in the builders we see the hammer, and we see the paint, the chisel, we see the T-square, etc., etc. So it's in an abstract form, but I tried to make it African looking to continue the same theme with color, composition, and all. And then I put the energy field again, because civilization moving from one form to the other one. Here's all the wisdom and knowledge that's been accumulated. I call it an energy form. So it continues to move. This figure here is my Benin Nigerian type figure, where they use the lines in the sculpture work. And of course, if we could see all of it, we could see the rest of it down at the bottom. But this is basically the focus of that. And I wanted this design and composition to flow around the wall as people would see it. So we read this from left to right. We continue to move around. Here's another sculpture piece of the pregnant woman, all right, dealing with the nativity kind of a scene, motherhood. Continuing on the builder's process, if you look at this is a saw blade. This is moving towards the so-called present day, where you use the saw blade in a present day scene to cut and to construct your building. Continue moving around. Here's the layout in terms of construction, dealing with north, east, south. Again, here's the energy field that I play over and over as it's being passed from the ancient civilization to the very younger, older civilization. We got the accumulation of the wisdom and knowledge. That is what this ball that has an energy field, that's what that particular part represents. And so here you have a surveyor, which I've made a woman, and I have the man over here to show the relationship and also the companion and the balance. Without having the female equal in terms of the male, you got half of the power that you have dissipated in your culture. So the Africans were great in maintaining the balance between the female and the male. They weren't involved during the ancient time discriminating against their females simply because they were females or they had power over them. So as we move on around, we are still dealing with construction and symbols and signs and things that are happening. Here as we can see, the energy field is getting larger. So that represents the accumulation of wisdom and knowledge that has been done, accumulated over the years, that has been passed on from one culture, one civilization to the next. And that's what this is representing. And if you notice, I have the female as well as the male. So I try to maintain the balance with the male and the female being equal, not to try to have all males or all one or the other. We continue to move around on the set. Continue to have symbols and signs that represent certain types of things, certain types of paintings that we can find in cave paintings and other kinds of things that we can see. I want to include some of that aspect as well. As we move on, we can see the energy form of field has gotten larger. And that means that's all the wisdom and accumulation that has started from the ancient world. Really goes back to, you could say, beyond Kemet. It goes back to what the Greeks call Ethiopia. They call themselves Kush or Nubian. And actually it goes back beyond that, because if we go to a place called Neptune, that's where the sub-Sahara, where the Africans were developing a system of wisdom and knowledge and plotting out the stars, trying to learn when to plant, when not to plant, and whatever it is. So they took this wisdom and knowledge and moved into the land that you call Ethiopia, or we can say Kush, or moved into the land you call Egypt. And you would think that Egypt all of a sudden exists full-blown with its civilization. No, it comes out of sub-Sahara. And they bring all the wisdom and knowledge and insight that they have. And so as we have seen, this energy field is getting larger and larger, because all the wisdom and knowledge is being passed from one generation to the next. So that's the learning experience. So this one is kind of a futuristic. I put in the lighter tone, because if we deal with the humankind and